Welcome to Patscast. I'm Brad Whitaker. It is rumors galore right now with some recent reports coming out about who the Patriots are looking to pursue, not just an NFL free agency, but via trade as well. And that starts with star running back of the New York Giants, Saquon Barkley, who has been arguably one of the best, if not the best, running backs in the league over the last few seasons. And yes, Barkley has a bit of an injury history of late. So the Patriots could potentially get him at value, but he is entering free agency for the first time in his career. Played 14 games in 2023, 13 in 2021. Also had just 4 in 2020 due to a torn ACL, but the production really hasn't skipped a beat. Last year, Barkley ran for 1,242 yards, 10 touchdowns, and he's racked up over 5,200 yards on the ground, averaging 4.3 yards per carry over the 74 NFL games he's played in his career. And pairing him with a guy like Ramondre Stevenson is going to give them plenty of options to work with in the running game if the Patriots do indeed chase after Barkley. Now, the Pats, again, have over $100 million in cap space this offseason. So they have a lot of money to spend, and I know people are thinking like, oh, Saquon Barkley, don't they already have a good running back? Don't they want to consider bringing Zeke back, who is pretty good? That should be a consideration, certainly, but running backs are pretty cheap these days. And if you go through this report, this is coming out of CBS News, or actually rather, the person who reported it was Tyler Dragon of USA Today and Pat Leonard of the New York Daily News. Want to give credit where credit is due. That the Patriots are one of a number of potential suitors, including the Ravens, Raiders, Texans, Eagles, Bears, and Chargers. So he's going to have some options, but they estimate that Barkley is going to cost about $10 million per season. He's going to be looking for a longer-term deal, certainly. At 27 years old, running backs generally don't last very long in the NFL. If he lasts beyond 30, I think Barkley probably will, but it's surprising for any running back to go beyond age 30. So I can see the Patriots looking for a 3 to 4 year deal and pairing him with Ramondre Stevenson. And with a new offensive coordinator who's kind of mixing a hybrid old school, new school, West Coast style offense like Alex Van Pelt, they really are dependent on the running game to establish the passing game. Not to mention the passing game, a lot of short throws. It's considered an extension of the running game. And Ramondre Stevenson, not the greatest out of the gate, but he's become a much better pass catcher over the last couple of seasons. And Saquon Barkley can certainly contribute in that fashion as well. So I think something the Patriots would have had to address, at least in the draft this year, is getting a real solid third down running back. If you bring in a guy like Barkley, between him and Stevenson, I'm not sure you necessarily have to do that, or at least you can wait another season and really just rely on those two guys. And they're probably not going to get burnt out splitting snaps. So I really like this idea. If the Patriots don't have to spend more than 10, 11, 12 million per year for a guy like Barkley, I think it would make a lot of sense. And look, Stevenson's also entering the final year of his contract, so he could potentially be a free agent heading into next season. So that gives them an option if they want to move on from Stevenson, particularly if Barkley is more productive, which in all likelihood he will be. I know Stevenson's one of the better running backs in the NFL, but Barkley may be the best or one of the best at the very least. So NFL free agency kicks off next Monday when the legal tampering window opens. Now, we know there's plenty of tampering that goes on before that. That's just the way the NFL works. But technically, it starts next Monday, and then players can officially begin signing on Wednesday, March 13th. So, look, there's some smoke here. Obviously, the Patriots are interested, but many other teams are interested as well. Maybe he wants to go to a contender like the Ravens, like maybe the Eagles, if you consider them a contender still. But because the Patriots have so much cap space and running backs tend to not make a lot of money these days because they have a short shelf life, perhaps the Patriots could snag him by just simply overpaying relative to those other teams. But something that I'm a little bit more excited about that also came out of a report today is the New England Patriots are actually looking into a trade for Kansas City Chiefs star cornerback L'Jarius Sneed. Now, L'Jarius Sneed was franchise tag, non-exclusive franchise tag by the Chiefs recently, but that does not mean they will not look to trade him at a certain point. This report also came from Tyler Dragon of the USA Today. Basically, Sneed, if you don't know who he is, most people do because they were a Super Bowl team and he was talked about a lot during the Super Bowl game. He's one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL, certainly the best zone cover corner, which if you pair him with a guy like Christian Gonzalez, who, if healthy and plays the way he did as a rookie up until he got hurt in the Dallas game last season, if those two are on the field for 17 games, that is probably the best cornerback duo in the NFL. And the Patriots still have some depth at that position with Jonathan Jones, etc. So this would, look, I know we're not focusing a lot on the defense this offseason. Really, the Patriots need to rebuild the offense. But that would give them some real weapons to work with defensively to stop some of the big receiver weapons in the NFL and at least try to keep that score down a little bit for a rebuilding offense, which could be led by a Joe Flacco, a Jacoby Brissett, maybe a Russell Wilson, probably not Baker Mayfield, or a rookie quarterback like Drake May or Jaden Daniels, or maybe McCarthy, Nix, Penix, Rattle, or one of those guys. So it will take the pressure off the offense a little bit. Now, the Patriots are really going to have to pay up, right? If you have a cornerback who is considered one of the very best in the NFL, franchise tagging him sets him at one of the top 5 salaries in the NFL. So you're probably going to have to pay him something like probably the highest paid corner in the NFL. Now, that's something the Patriots have been willing to do in the past, at least under Bill Belichick. They certainly paid up for Stephon Gilmore. They were willing to bring in guys like Darrelle Revis in the past for a 1-year deal, although that was more of a prove-it type contract. But J.C. Jackson's off the team now. Christian Gonzalez looks to be a real corner of the future. You pair him with Sneed, that is going to be one heck of a defense. Now, there's said to be 6 other teams also interested in trading for Sneed, but the Patriots do have a lot of draft capital, right? Like, I'm not sure they're going to throw a first or second round pick. I'm not sure any team would throw a first or second round pick at the Chiefs, but for a guy like L'Jarius Sneed, just because those are so valuable. But I could see them, we know there's some issues with Matthew Judon. He's looking for a contract extension. Maybe you throw in Judon in the 4th, and that's enough to bring in Sneed, and then you work on a contract extension for him. I like Judon. Don't want to see him go, but for a guy like Sneed, I think that would certainly compensate for the loss of Judon, and certainly the Patriots have a decent pass rush even without Judon on the field. It's really up to Sneed's agent to look now to other teams to see the type of compensation that the Chiefs can make, and then the Chiefs can decide ultimately if they want to pull the trigger and trade away their best cornerback. Patriots, I guess, have already spoken with the Chiefs, so those conversations are underway. Again, they probably can offer more than just about anyone else in terms of draft capital, and if they're willing to unload one of their better defensive players, maybe the Chiefs could do it. But let me know how you feel. Do you think L'Jarius Sneed, what do you think it would cost? May have to be a 3rd rounder, but ideally you're not spending more than that. But you're going to have to pair in some player talent with that as well. So look, if you're trading just a 3rd rounder, then great. Now the Chiefs are probably looking to do this because they're, franchise tagging Sneed is still going to be very expensive. They obviously are dealing with Patrick Mahomes' large contract now. So they're going to have to deal with cap space jail a little bit, and unloading a guy like Sneed who's going to want a lengthy, highly paid contract extension is going to cost them a lot and not allow them to fill other positions. They really do need help with some receiver depth there, even though they still won the Super Bowl, even though they still have Travis Kelce. Kelce may not be the Travis Kelce we know at least a couple seasons down the road, although he played very well in the playoffs, but he didn't have his best regular season this year. So I really do like the idea of trading for L'Jarius Sneed. I like the idea of bringing in Saquon Barkley, and now suddenly you're cooking with gas a little bit. So we'll see what happens. Some of these other teams that are interested in Sneed, I have the list here. Other than the Patriots, the Minnesota Vikings, Indianapolis Colts, Tennessee Titans, Detroit Lions, Atlanta Falcons, Jacksonville Jaguars. None of those teams are really contenders. So, again, it's really up to L'Jarius Sneed and his agent to see what they can do. Or it's possible that they just stick with the franchise tag if they can't come up with anything by early summer, which is the way it works. So, more on that later. We'll see how it plays out, particularly as the free agency and trade period kicks off in the NFL. But these are some exciting reports, right? I mean, if you have Christian Gonzalez and L'Jarius Sneed, I know we're not as excited about the defense because we need weapons on offense, but, you know, it makes it a lot easier if the other team's not scoring points, right? So breaking news as of yesterday, the Patriots are going to use the transition tag, not the franchise tag, on strong safety Kyle Dugger. Now, the transition tag is rare. Teams rarely use it. In fact, Dugger is the 6th NFL player in the last 15 years to get the transition tag. So really, only one team does it every few seasons. Like, it's rarely used. And there's been a lot of criticism about this move. Go watch Michael Felger's video yesterday. I think he's wrong, although highly entertaining. But basically, and Gerard Mayo said this to the media today, this is essentially a stopgap maneuver, a way for the Patriots to try to keep Kyle Dugger while understanding the price that it would cost to bring him back on the market. And really, teams only use the transition tag if there is a discrepancy between what the player thinks they're worth and what the team thinks they're worth. Now, if the Patriots had franchise tagged Kyle Dugger, it would cost somewhere north of $17 million, which would make him one of the highest paid safeties in the league. The transition tag puts him a little bit south of $14 million. I think it's 13.8, something along those lines, which puts him kind of in the top 10 range of NFL safeties. But it really just allows Dugger now to go out, test the market, see what teams can offer him in terms of a contract, and the Patriots will have the opportunity to match that contract. Now, the drawback to the transition tag is if the Patriots do not bring Kyle Dugger back and do not match a contract that another team offers, they do not get draft pick compensation for it. Unlike, I believe, the franchise tag, which allows you to do that, but please correct me if I'm wrong. But I think this is happening because the Patriots really do want to keep Kyle Dugger. Dugger says, hey, I think I'm worth, I don't know, beyond 14 million, 15, 16 million. I think I'm one of the best safeties in the league. And the Patriots are going, look, we like you, Dugger. We're willing to pay you as one of the better safeties in the league. But I think we're going to give you a starting point at around 13 million here if we give you a contract extension, 13 million a year. And go out and test the market. See what teams are willing to give you. And then that will give us an idea of how much you really are worth. And then we have the opportunity to match that. Now, I don't think anyone's offering Dugger, I'm just throwing this out there, I don't think anyone's offering him more than $15 million a year. The reason is just because of supply and demand in the NFL this offseason. There are a lot of B+, A- safeties on the market. And Kyle Dugger is basically, he's a strong safety. That's a good downhill guy. He's not the best safety in terms of coverage. Still very athletic, can get interceptions, make a lot of plays. But really a strong tackler, athletic guy, a guy who's going to stop the run and stop the short pass. But he's not necessarily the best safety. And I've said this on the podcast throughout this offseason. If we lose Kyle Dugger, it is not the end of the world. I hope he comes back. But he's not going to turn the defense from one of the best defenses in the league to one of the worst. Like, Kyle Dugger does not have that great of an impact. But you still want him back to kind of secure that strong safety spot. And look, he's going to be turning 28 years old, I believe, sometime this offseason. So he'll be 28 years old next season. That is an age where he is looking for really his last and only lucrative contract. He entered the league as an older safety coming out of Lenore Rhine. Obviously has been very effective with the Patriots. Seems like a real foundational captain type piece for the Patriots, a guy you want to work with that replaces the McCourties and the Slaters of the world in the locker room. But there is obviously an issue here between the Patriots and Duggar in terms of negotiations. So this gives them an opportunity to see how much Duggar is worth on the market, and I would expect the Patriots to match that. Now, I know a lot of people are also asking, why aren't you franchise tagging Michael Onwenu? He seems to be the number one priority this offseason. Whether you put him at right guard, he's probably an all-pro right guard, at least a Pro Bowler right tackle if he's playing that position. At least secure that, because the offensive line is an absolute mess right now. Keep what's working. I think this is actually a reason for optimism with Michael Onwenu, because what's happening with Duggar is obviously he thinks he's worth more, and the Patriots are willing to provide at this moment, allowing him to test the market, and then they can match it and bring him back. If they were in a similar situation with Michael Onwenu, I think they would have used a similar tag on him to try to see what his value would be on the market. Now, Onwenu probably will hit free agency and will test the market a little bit and see what he can get. But this leads me to believe that what the Patriots think he's worth and what Onwenu thinks he's worth is not that far apart. So hopefully this means that Onwenu is close to signing a long-term extension with the Patriots, so then they can secure him. He's still fairly young, and at least make sure the right side of that offensive line is reinforced for years to come, particularly if you are bringing in a rookie quarterback. And look, Duggar probably will be back. Again, I think the Patriots are just saying, all right, someone's offering you 14, we'll do that, and we'll keep you long term. I think Onwenu, the same thing is going to happen with him without the tag. And the Patriots, they may have to spend $18 million on him a year, maybe even as high as 20. Certainly, a player like Onwenu, who can play right tackle and is a real star at the right guard position, is going to get offers, right? But the Patriots, with their cap space, with their ability to make these moves, I think they're probably pretty close to signing him to an extension. But let me know what you think about all of the above here, right? Let me know, do you like this transition tag move with Duggar? Do you think he's coming back? Let us know about Onwenu, what this means for potentially pursuing Tyron Smith at left tackle. There's also Jonah Williams, who I know the Patriots are probably interested in. Definitely not as good as Tyron Smith, but will probably stay on the field. And you can throw him at right tackle. You can throw him at left tackle. You can really put him wherever he wants. He's versatile. Let me know in the comments below, and be sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel, share it with your friends, and we'll be back with some more Pats Cast probably later tomorrow.